This video will be about panoramas, because there was a few people that asked me about the panoramas, and it must be specific without a tripod. They don't want to use a tripod. Some of them don't have a tripod, and it's actually for the beginners, and then they go on YouTube and they see all these videos, and everyone, the first thing they say is, you must do, when you want to do a panorama, you have to do it on a tripod. Okay, I agree. You have to, and especially in some situations when you have a slow shutter speed, then you have to have a tripod. Okay? So, but the mission of this video will be for the people that don't have a tripod until you can buy one and you're a little bit more advanced. So you can do a panorama just as well when you get at any scene without a tripod and you've got only your camera. It works the same as with a cell phone. You don't have always a tripod for the cell phone. So it's the same thing work on the camera. The most important thing to just remember is you will check your scene, what you will do, and you do the composition already, and when it's done and you decide you want this car in, or you want the tree in, or whatever you want in your photo, you decide what you want and where you want to start. You can decide on the amount of photos that you want to take. The thing is, usually to tell you is that you turn your camera upside down like this so that it's portrait mode. The reason for that is, if you've got big mountains and all the things there going on, and not like this one, we don't have a lot in interest at the background. If you've got high mountains and stuff there, what you will do is you will turn your portrait, the camera portrait. So then it will give you a lot of more information from the foreground up to the sky, or wherever you want to be. But if it's not a very big panoramic that you want to do, you can keep it in landscape. With a very wide angle lens, what will happen is, if you make it, say, from this side up to here, then what will happen is it will give very much of a distortion when you stitch it in Photoshop or one of the programs. So then you don't want to make the scene too big, keep it this way, like this. When you've got it like this and you decide, okay, from there to there, that's what I want, then you can start and you put your settings on, usually on manual. There's nothing funny about it. What you will choose, because it's a panorama, you will choose, say, F11. And then you can focus, not in this situation. When you focus, usually in your scene, you focus, say, a third in the scene. Something that's prominent in the scene, you will focus there in the scene. And then the foreground and the background with F11 will be very much in focus. Everything will be in focus usually. If you've got something like this, say you're at the sea or here, this car is in front, then obviously you will focus on the car. So then you focus on the car, or say you're at a seashore or something, then there's a big rock or whatever on the beach, then you will focus there and not halfway in, because there's nothing to focus, because it's only the sea that's going on there, and it's got the nice dramatic sky hopefully, and then that is what you do. But in this situation for today, I will focus on the car, and I will make this my panoramic. I don't have a very dramatic sky, there's a little few clouds there today, but that is what I will use. The reason why you don't want to use the tripod, if you're in a reservation or one of the camps or something and you can't get out of your car and there's a very nice scene and you're not allowed to get out because of lions or whatever, then you want to take that photo. You can't go and put the tripod on. So then you just quickly can stop, and out of the window you can just do your panoramic. What you are going to do is you check your scene for the highest part and the lowest part. So you will go in your viewfinder, you check it like this, and you just follow it through like this. You just follow it through while you check it. Then you know, okay, you're not cutting off anything. I will take the car, and if I got it too high, then I cut off the car at the bottom. So that's why you have to check your scene like this. Then you keep your arms tucked in like this and make yourself a tripod, and then you lacquer sturdy, and then you can do your panoramic. If you keep it like this and it's not a very wide one, I will do say 4 photos. I will choose it, I take a photo, take a photo and take a photo. And I go beyond this car, take another photo. Then I can keep it in my landscape mode, landscape profile, my camera. If it's a very wide one, it's better to do it in profile, but then you will need more photos to stitch together. Because for Photoshop or one of the programs, the editing programs, then obviously it will stitch it much easier. What's going to happen is I will show you the amount per photo that you've got like this. You must overlap it in a third. So here is your scene. There's our little mountains. That's in the scene like this. And here is our car like this. There's our car, okay? So you make sure that the top and the bottom part, your front, the foreground is in your scene, not to cut off anything. So then you start a little bit on this side, but then you start your photo like this. There's a photo, and overlap there of the previous photo, like this, previous photo, and you go on like this and like this until your whole scene is finished. You can do as many photos as you want to finish the scene, even if you have to go on there to give a little bit of space there. So Photoshop will see, especially like on the car or something, then it will see it's got this part and this part that you overlap, usually a third of the previous photo that you're going to use. Photoshop is going to use that to stitch it together, and that is the easiest way to do it. This is, say, more a portrait view. You can either change it around and make it a landscape. So the camera is on manual. You choose F11. Depends on the scene, how dark or how light it is, the time of day. You will choose your ISO usually on 100 or 200. But in this situation, you choose 100. That is the best for this one. The shutter speed, if you're on a tripod, you can go quite low. But if you're not on a tripod, don't go too low, because you will have to keep it steady with your own body like this. You will start. I will focus on the car because I want the car in. Okay? Then I focus on the car. As soon as I got focus, let me just do a setting here. Now I've got focus on my car. I know this is my scene I want. I've got my focus on the car. Now I'm going to put, I know where my hands are. I'm going to put my lens on manual focus. Otherwise, if I leave it on autofocus, if I focus there, it will focus on the grass here, because there's a tree there and everything. It will focus there, it will focus there, it will focus everywhere. And you've got very light situations, the different light because the sun is going down. Then you've got all the different white balances and situations with the exposure that you don't want. You want the same exposure that you see now. That's why I put my lens on manual focus. After I've locked my focus on the car, now I've got my lens on, it's my lens that's on manual focus. So everything is now manual. Now I can take the photo, but I start there and go past the car. It will not refocus again. The main thing that you must remember, and it's very important, at the bottom you've got your bracket that's supposed to go on the tripod. If you don't have a bracket on, what you can do to keep this camera, because you can't take your body like this, because the whole camera is moving. The big part to remember is to keep the body of the camera on the one place. That's why you tuck it in like this, your arms, and then you move it like this. If it's a little bit that you move, Photoshop can stitch it. It's doing a very good job of it. So that's not a problem. That's the only thing. Even if you have to take your finger and put it at the bottom, there's a little hole there with like a screw hole where this bracket is screwing on. Put it there, put your finger there, and then you just swivel it like this. If you swivel it like this, then you know it will stitch it together. Obviously, if you like this, you will have to put it like this until you glued up with it, and you can swivel your camera like this. And that is the important thing. That's why I say, first get your scene in, the top and the bottom, keep the camera on the same place, keep it still. If you know you can't keep it still, you can't do it like this way. If you can keep it still, start there, go through there. The amount of photos that you need to take. And then it's just to go and do it, the editing in Photoshop or one of the editing programs. Lightroom is also doing a very good job of it. That I will also show you the scene that I've done here. See you in Lightroom.